Hello everyone, welcome to Nottingham, and history will be made here this afternoon at Harvey Hadden Sports Village. It is the City of Birmingham Rockets against the Yorkshire Dragons in the inaugural BCB Trophy. Hello everyone, John Hobbs and Ben Fisher, assistant coach of the Reading Rockets, on hand. And Ben, what a momentous day this is. First trophy in a brand new era to be lifted here.
Yeah, it's amazing to see the BCB only formed last year in September, and what an event we have here today, which is awesome. So really looking forward to this game. It's going to be a real showcase for the league.
As the two teams are being brought out here onto the floor, a great amount of noise generated by the City of Birmingham Rockets fans. There are a smattering as well of Yorkshire Dragon fans here in attendance. It all shapes up to be a fantastic occasion, a historic day in British Championship basketball folklore. Before this game tips off, we caught up with the head coaches for the two teams, and we start off with Yorkshire Dragons head coach Paul Cantwell.
So we are here with Coach Cantwell ahead of the inaugural BCB Trophy final. Yeah. Coach, talk me through it. How do you reflect on the Yorkshire Dragons' journey so far in this tournament?
Yeah, it's been kind of a crazy one, especially obviously what happened to Falkirk when, you know, we had that situation. But I think in general, I thought we had a really good trophy run, you know, obviously unbeaten to get here. I think we performed really well, and that was kind of the basis of, you know, starting the season together, and that's really kind of gave us the foundation to do quite well throughout the season so far.
Most definitely has, and of course getting a lot of players in good form heading into this final always helps. In terms of the areas that you're looking for your side to dominate today, Coach, what areas are you looking in terms of a particular strength heading into this game?
I think our particular strength is ball movement. I think everyone collectively contributing. I think we're not, you know, we haven't got one or two players, we've got 5, 6, 7 guys who can contribute. I think if we can win that rebounding count, win the physicality count, I think we'll be in a great position.
Most definitely. And Coach, I appreciate your press for time. Really appreciate you taking the time, really. One final question, it's a big one. How much would winning the trophy today mean to both yourself and, of course, the club?
Yeah, I think it'd mean everything. I think the club's not won one before, so I think this would be huge for the club to win this trophy, especially the likes of people like Chris Mellor, who've been doing it for so long. It'd mean the world to them and to these guys, because we've had a bit of adversity this year, but winning it would be outstanding for them. And yeah, for myself, you know, as a coach, you always want to be in a final, giving yourself a chance to win a trophy.
Absolutely. Coach, thank you very much for taking the time, and we wish you all the very best of luck heading into today.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
Oh. So we are here with Charles Smith, head coach of the City of Birmingham Rockets. Charles, thank you ever so much for taking the time to talk to us.
No problem.
How do you reflect on your campaign in this trophy so far?
It was really good through the trophy. We played a couple tough games early on, and we came out through them. I think one of our biggest games was against the Himmel game when we made the 3 kind of at the buzzer. And I think that's what got us through the group stages. And once we got through the group stages, we were looking to get to a final, and we made it through.
Really did. And in terms of the areas that you're looking for your side to dominate today, what are those areas? What do you want to see from your boys today?
I want to just see our effort and discipline, especially on the defensive end. We need to kind of concentrate and take their three-point shots away, so we can do a good job of defending the three-point line and then rebounding those shots. I think that'll put us in a good position to win the game.
Absolutely. And Coach, one final question from me. What would it mean to both yourself and the club to leave here with that trophy?
I mean, it would mean a lot right now, especially with this being my first one as a coach and the first one really as the club. So we're kind of on the same field, and we're all really excited to see the outcome of this one.
Absolutely. Coach, thank you ever so much for taking the time, and yeah, wishing you all the very best of luck for today's game.
Appreciate it.
Thoughts of the two head coaches before today's BCB Trophy final. Let's have a look at the two teams, starting with the Birmingham Rockets. And Ben, obviously Ron Blaine, a huge impactful player on this Rockets side, but also Lucas McGregor and Eric Donaldson, ones to watch out for as well.
Yeah, really good roster put together by Charles Smith, and let's not forget Zach Powell as well, who's been really, really good this year. Has developed over the last couple of seasons and very much deserves to be in a final. But yeah, the experience of Orlan Jackman in there as well, and Martin Gale, one of the best shooters in the BCB. Yeah, it promises to be a really tough matchup for Yorkshire with the talent that the Birmingham Rockets have.
Ronald Blaine, Eric Donaldson, Lucas McGregor, Zach Powell and Luke Okosiemi will start for the Rockets as we head over to the Yorkshire Dragons, the designated away team for today's game. And Jordan Jefferson, what an impact he has made to this Dragons side. Nicholas Lewis, another player who can really light it up. And of course, David Ulf, the rebound, the double-double rebound and scoring machine as well.
I think David Ulf is probably one of the ones that's underestimated in this particular team. He's really the glue. He's obviously got BBL experience from yesteryear. But yeah, another really, really good roster. And outside of that, the supporting cast, Logan Rooney, who's a really good shooter. And obviously Jack Mielke as well. He's done a great job for the Dragons this season. So yeah, a slightly smaller roster, but full of talent.
Jordan Jefferson, Jack Mielke, Corey Johnson, David Ulf and Nicholas Lewis are your starting five for the Dragons in the final huddle for both teams before they come out onto the floor. Our crew chief for today, Josh Bowe, Louis van Dersen and Effie Rocker are your three officials for today's game. And an incredible crowd inside Harvey Hadden Sports Village, near to capacity. It's around 500 to 600 people estimated are here in attendance today. It's a fantastic occasion to lift or see a team lift a first ever BCB trophy.
Oh, absolutely. It's amazing to see so many people come to watch this first final for the British Championship basketball. Really great travelling support by the City of Birmingham Rockets. The Yorkshire Dragons have had to make a slightly further journey, but have brought a crowd as well. And I think there's a lot of people in here that have just come to watch this kind of prestigious final. So yeah, awesome to see, and what a great atmosphere.
Game face of Josh Bowe there, our crew chief. In your picture, I said Louis van Dersen, Effie Rocker, the other two officials. Thank you so very, very much for joining us on the British Championship Basketball YouTube channel, everybody. Great to see so many comments coming in. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe as we get set for a historic day here in the East Midlands. Yorkshire Dragons out first in green, and the City of Birmingham Rockets will follow in white. Yorkshire Dragons averaged more points than any other team in the BCB Trophy this season. 109 points they averaged, and for Birmingham they had a slightly trickier path to the final, including a narrow win over the Hemel Storm in the group phase and a very hard-fought victory over the Milton Keynes Breakers in the semi-finals. Yorkshire had to go a little further north of the border in their semi-final, beating the Falkirk Fury, one of the invited sides from the Scottish League, to get to the final. It was great to see Falkirk getting so far in this BCB Trophy and really putting Scottish basketball on the map.
Yeah, amazing to see, and that's what the BCB Trophy is all about. It's encompassing the whole of the United Kingdom and giving opportunity to clubs in not just England, but also Scotland and hopefully in the future in Wales.
Fantastic noise being generated here at Harvey Hadden. David Ulf and Luke Okosiemi jump it off, and Birmingham will get the first possession of the BCB Trophy final. McGregor. Donaldson goes to the foul line, finds McGregor. McGregor a three. And Mielke with the rebound. And Milky's pass goes out of bounds. However, it came off a Birmingham player last. Lucas McGregor fluffed his lines there, was looking for the catch, but it just slipped out of his fingers.
He did, and it'll be interesting to see how Birmingham defend the out of bounds play here.
Lewis finds Ulf inside, Milky at the top. Milky lines up a three.
And that's what he does best for his team. An excellent three-point shooter, well found by the Dragons to open up the scoring.
Averages around 39% from downtown this season. Takes around 6 3-pointers a game, so not shy to let fly. Here is Powell. Blaine drives down the middle.
And that's what Ronald Blaine definitely brings to this team. The Rockets going to their stagger set early on, not quite getting anything off it so far, but Ronald Blaine down the lane for two.
And we spoke about how much of a tenacious competitor Ron Blaine is, as Johnson down the middle to Ulf. Ulf too long with that hook. Here is Powell. Now Powell looking to attack, hangs in the air, and he'll go to the line for a couple.
And that's what the Dragons have got to do a really good job on Zach Powell. When he plays downhill in transition, it's a really tough matchup.
See there, Charles Smith. Well, the back of Charles Smith in your picture. Certainly he has a lot of big game experience as a player, but his first time as a head coach in a final.
Indeed, and what a coach he's become. Definitely one of the best coaches in the BCB. Love the way he's assembled his team. He's got his own players, and he's got them playing really well this season.
And the Rockets out to a 4-3 lead early doors. Here is Lewis. Milky. Jefferson. Looking for the step back, instead goes inside, doesn't get that one to go. And away come Birmingham as McGregor. And Birmingham doing such a good job of attacking the basket in the first few possessions, enough for Paul Cantwell, the head coach of the Dragons, to get some reinforcements, as you see Jordan Whelan checking in for the first time.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's a big part of Birmingham's game, is playing in transition. They've got some real athletes who can play downhill and get to the rack.
Birmingham for the season, a 68% foul shooting team. Good enough for 8th in the BCB. But so far making their foul shots count. As McGregor, who averages around 18 points a game, actually had a double-double in the quarter-final win over Loughborough. 22 points, 11 rebounds, makes them both, and it's a 6-3 lead to Birmingham. Lewis, no hesitation, but grazes the rim. Blaine. Powell loses the handles. And Milky turns it back over. Ball is loose, it goes out of bounds. And it will go to the Birmingham Rockets, and a scrappy offense there.
Certainly was, but much better defended by the Dragons, stopping Zach Powell in transition, jumping to the ball and forcing the turnover, but couldn't quite hold the ball themselves.
Here is Donaldson. McGregor finds Powell, the lob and the finish from Okosiemi.
Absolutely, really good screen away, and a real simple one, alley-oop to score.
And at the other end, Ulf is fouled hard. There's the replay of Okosiemi's dunk, and right down the other end, Yorkshire Dragons all business, and David Ulf will head to the line.
Absolutely, and going inside to David Ulf will be really key to the Dragons. What he does really well is he stretches the floor, obviously with some really good shooters of Corey Johnson and Nick Lewis on the outside. So it'll be interesting to see how that pans out as the game moves forward.
Well, David Ulf, as no player in the BCB has more double-doubles than David Ulf this season. 16 double-doubles for Yorkshire's number 10. As you say, a player with BBL, SLB experience, especially with Manchester and Cheshire.
Just a real grafter as well. Yeah. I love how he works really hard inside, and especially with the rebound, which is such an important part of the Dragons game.
Well, started out with Liverpool Basketball Club on Merseyside, and as an exceptional player, a no-nonsense type player. Here is Powell on the spin, beautiful footwork, but can't get the finish, and the ball goes out of bounds. It will stay with the Rockets. That was beautiful footwork, though, from the former Reading Rocket.
It certainly was, but you'd be, if you're Paul Cantwell, you'd be saying, keep your feet, keep your feet. That's a easy one for Powell.
McGregor. Shot clock in single figures for Donaldson. Backs down, Whelan goes to the hook and puts it in.
And that is something, even though Eric Donaldson is a real successful shooter, he can play interior.
And Nicholas Lewis, so quick up the other end, one of the quickest players in the BCB. No doubt he'll be looking to get into a rhythm early. And here he is on the ball. Crosses over Blaine, fakes Okosiemi, but it goes out of bounds and it'll be a turnover.
Yeah, the Dragons just running their handoff to pick and roll out of their sideline play, but Nick Lewis hasn't quite got going in terms of the drive yet, but I'm sure that will come for him because he's an excellent player one-on-one.
Such an exciting offensive threat for the Dragons. Blaine did well to collect that. Backs down Milkey, but doesn't get the shot to fall. Good defense there from Jack Milkey. Here is Lewis, swings it, and Milkey buries a three.
Great job from Milkey at both ends of the floor, defensively stopping Blaine inside and then stroking the triple.
10-8 to the Birmingham Rockets. And Corey Johnson gets the steal. And Johnson the easy finish.
And one of the things Paul Cantwell was saying to me before the game, if the Dragons can get their switching right, that's going to be really beneficial for them in this game.
10 apiece. McGregor. McGregor putting the moves on Whelan, turns. Good defense from Whelan. Great momentum here for the Dragons. Lewis swings it, Johnson a three. That's off the back iron and rebounded by Blaine. And Powell slows it down. Just to let everyone watching know, it is 10-10 at the moment. In and out, and in from Donaldson.
And there you go, Donaldson with a mid-post game as well. He's showing everything so far.
Lewis, step back two. And Ulf there to get the follow.
And as we've said time and time already, that's David Ulf's game. Really good presence on the offensive glass and giving tying the game up at 12.
We're tied up at 12 with 4:30 to play here in the first period. Blaine steps into a three. And Whelan did well to get the rebound. Here is Lewis. 4:08 to play in the first. Whelan a three, no. Okosiemi the rebound.
That might be something that Coach Cantwell will be looking out for. His team have shot a high number of threes.
And the ball has gone out of the hands of McGregor. It will be a Yorkshire ball as Martin Gale and Orland Jackman will check in for the first time. And Okosiemi and Donaldson will come out.
Some real experience coming off the bench for the Rockets. Two players that have seen it and done it all. And speaking to Orland Jackman last week, he has no intention of hanging up the boots. And he's in another final, which is amazing to see.
I mean, would you expect anything less from Orland Jackman?
Absolutely not. Let's see what impact he has. It looks like he's going to be matched up against David Ulf.
What an incredible ambassador to British basketball Orland Jackman is. And he gets the steal, anticipating perfectly where that pass from Whelan was going. And now Blaine at the other end. What a layup.
Yeah, great defense by Jackman. Just anticipated that pass. Outlet it to Ronald Blaine, straight down the gut for two.
14-12 in a very tightly contested first period. Look at the hustle from Ron Blaine. Gets it out of bounds and he lets Corey Johnson know about it.
Absolutely. You can say what you want about Ron Blaine, but my goodness, he is a competitor, and he's getting it done at both ends of the floor at the moment, leading his team to this 2-point lead.
Whelan drives right down Main Street. Offensive foul has been called. Foul on Whelan.
Yep, interesting one. Zach Powell did take it on his chest, but I'm not sure. But that's one for the purists, as they say.
First foul of the game on Jordan Whelan. (14-12) in favour of the Rockets. Here is Blaine. Jackman. Jackman got hit there by Ulf. Jackman goes inside and muscles his way in.
Yeah, and the Rockets going to their screener offense to get the ball inside to Jackman, and he converts.
Lewis at the other end, no good. Re-tipping is no good. There's Logan Rooney into the game for the first time, and on the ball here is Whelan. Corner pocket three is no good either. And a foul at mid-court, and the game has taken a bit more of a furious pace as well in the last couple of minutes as we have a look at the replay of that.
Yeah, good foul by Nick Lewis in transition, just stopping the Rockets' momentum. The Dragons not quite finding their hot shooting streak just yet, but David Ulf is putting a lot of heat on the offensive glass and keeping them in it.
McGregor. Gale. Of course, one of the premier shooters in the BCB. Powell, shot clock at 4. Jackman has to do something with it. And he'll get a foul on David Ulf with 0.2 of a second left on the shot clock.
Might we say that's a bit of a veteran move there, drawing contact. Orland Jackman certainly knows how to use his body, and he gets to the line for 2.
First foul of the game on the veteran David Ulf. And another veteran, as we mentioned earlier, Orland Jackman now going to the line for 2. There's the replay, and you can see, well, David Ulf did get the ball, but the referee saw he also got a bit of the hand and the wrist as well. As Orland Jackman misses the first, and you mentioned that he has no intention of hanging up the boots. He can still put on an incredible shift as well. Shoots around 51% for the season. Did have a game-high 24 points in the win over Newcastle back in March, earlier in March, excuse me.
What I like about him, John, is that his ego is not in the way at all. He just does what the team needs, and that's why the Rockets have been so successful this year.
Rooney lobs it to Ulf. Ulf can't hang on to it. Good hands from Powell. Here is Blaine. Blaine to the basket. He wants a foul. He'll stay with Birmingham.
Good that the Dragons are trying to go inside to Ulf, but the defense from the opposite side helped. So Rooney needed just to kick it to the opposite side as we look at a replay of Ron Blaine going to the basket. No call, though.
Jackman backing down Ulf. Jackman twisting and turning, can't finish. On the follow, though, was Powell.
Zach Powell does it all. Absolutely love it.
And he nearly got the steal as well there. Logan Rooney a bit too lackadaisical with the pass. Here is Lewis. Looking to find his rhythm. Lewis to the basket. Can't get the friendly roll. Powell did just enough to put David Ulf off for the offensive rebound. Jackman, no hesitation, a 3. Timeout Yorkshire, and now the momentum with the Rockets.
Certainly is, and that's Orland Jackman showing the versatility that he has, his inside presence as well as his three-point shooting, and the Dragons will just need to talk things over. The Rockets doing a really good job on the pick and roll with Nick Lewis, chasing over every screen with their big guy just dropping to protect the basket and force them into either taking tough shots at the rim or kicking the ball out for the 3 ball.
As we have a look at some of the highlights, including the the lob and the finish from Okosiemi there. But for the Yorkshire Dragons, trailing at the moment by 9, but they've had their spurt, but now Birmingham have just enjoyed the better of the possessions here in the first couple of minutes.
Yeah, you feel that what Birmingham are doing really well is their transition game first and foremost, and then making sure that they are executing from the advantages they get out of their sets, whether that's the screen away, whether that's handoff to pick and roll, whether that's the cross screen to down screen, the screener. And I think that the Dragons haven't quite got into the rhythm of their offense just yet, and it'll be interesting to see what Coach Cantwell comes out with after this particular timeout.
21-12 in favour of the City of Birmingham Rockets. 1:07 to play in the first quarter. And here is Lewis. Final minute of the first period. Whelan to the basket, too strong. Rebounded by Donaldson. And Donaldson just takes it coast to coast.
And that's going to be a real painful one for the Dragons. A real easy bucket, and Birmingham continue to score in transition.
Whelan at the other end, and Yorkshire have had no problem attacking the basket. It's just the execution has lacked, hasn't it?
Absolutely. The Dragons came out with the fake screen to pick and roll to screen away, and then David Olf on the pick and roll. Jordan Whelan's been really positive attacking the rim, and it looks like Jordan Jefferson's going to check back into the game on 2 fouls. And he's been a key, as we mentioned before, key scorer for them. Be interesting to see if he can keep out of foul trouble and what he can contribute to the Dragons.
Not just Jefferson, but Jack Milkey also back into the game, and Jordan Whelan heads to the bench. 4 of 15 in this first quarter for Yorkshire. A team, as mentioned at the top, that have averaged more points in the BCB Trophy than any other team at 109 points a game. And Jordan Jefferson, who joined the Dragons late on, has been incredible since he stepped onto the court for the first time this season. 22 points, 4 rebounds in his 6 games played on average. But he turns the ball over.
Yeah, tough one there. 5-second call. The Rockets doing a great job denying the ball in. What I was going to say about the Dragons is they've had kind of a sandwich season, in the sense of they started really well, had a bit of a drop-off through injury midway through the season. It was really tough for Paul Cantwell and his team, but have really picked it up in these last couple of weeks, and deservedly are in this final.
Powell, lovely pass from Jackman, but again can't finish. Both teams really struggling to finish under the basket. Here is Jefferson. Milkey, good tracking back defense from Blaine as Lewis grazes the rim. Ulf is there. Here is Jefferson. They kick it out. Milkey, a 3 from the wing, in and out. Rebounded Ulf. Ulf gets it back again, and David Ulf will go to the line. However, I think that'll be the end, or in fact, no, they're going to get the 2 shots as the game clock for the first period wound down.
Yeah, it looks like the officials would just consult on that. But
yeah,
again, it's the Dragons game. To be fair, the Rockets are doing a really good job on Nick Lewis. Every shot he's taken so far that I can remember has been contested, which makes things more difficult. But David Olf is doing a fantastic job on the boards, and it'd be interesting to see, John, how many rebounds he has so far.
David Olf going to the foul line. David Olf right now, as you say, 4 points, 4 rebounds for the Dragons in this game thus far. And gets the second to go. 1/10 of a second left. Well, Jackman has tried it. It had a good length, didn't it? It was just the power. But that ends the first period here at Harvey Hadden Sports Village. 23-13 in favour of the City of Birmingham Rockets to end the first quarter, and a very good first quarter for the Rockets, shooting 52% from the field, and most of those points have come literally just driving down the middle and scoring easy layups, and that's something that every coach absolutely despises.
Yeah, absolutely, and that all stems obviously from offense as well. So I'm sure Coach Cantwell will be saying to his guys, look, let's try to get the ball inside first. Let's get an inside touch rather than shoot straight away. If they miss, obviously giving opportunities, but it increases the Rockets' possessions as well. So that's something I'm sure he'll be discussing with his troops. When they've done a good job in terms of jumping to the ball and containing in transition, and also the little actions that the Rockets have run, they've looked okay, but they just need to get their scoring going, and hopefully they need to get their shooting boots on for this second quarter.
Well, that's a fantastic atmosphere here inside Harvey Hadden in the East Midlands here in Nottingham, as the first ever BCB Trophy will be decided here today, and it's been fantastically hosted by the Nottinghamans. Had a chance to actually visit the Nottingham Hoods HQ today, albeit a wrong turning. I actually went to the wrong venue this morning. How embarrassing.
Did you go to Mapley?
I did. However, I did check out the Hoods HQ beforehand, and it's an impressive facility, even though the staff were a bit surprised to see me.
Yeah. Well, to be honest with you, on Thursday when I was talking to the Reading Rockets chairman, Gary Johnson, who I transported up here, he also said Mapley, and I double-checked and I looked at our social media and I saw Harvey Hadden, so thankfully we ended up at the right place and didn't take a wrong turning.
That teaches me to just quickly hit the venue address on Google Maps and then just go there. Lovely place, though, in a beautiful setting.
Yeah, it's brilliant, and it's great for basketball. Any new venue that opens and that can host things is amazing, and it's great to be here today at Harvey Hadden as we get ready to start the second quarter.
But I did eventually make it here with a lot of time to spare, which was nice. And an impressive facility it is here at Harvey Hadden as we start the second quarter, and a whistle has gone.
Yeah, the Dragons using a lot of their 4-to-5, 5-to-4 screen into pick and roll to gain advantage. The Rockets doing a good job of defending that action so far.
It's a first foul on Ron Blaine. Here is Lewis. Lewis driving at Jackman, a wild shot. It did nearly drop, but here come the Rockets. McGregor twisting and turning, can't finish. And Ulf travels with it. He got caught in two minds whether to pass or just dribble the ball out, but he was under pressure as well, and that's good on-ball defense from the Rockets.
It certainly is, and that all started by the switch on the pick and roll with Jackman doing a great job containing.
See the replay there, Ulf getting the rebound. And out of that, McGregor turns the ball over, so Yorkshire can breathe a sigh of relief.
Yeah, Lucas McGregor looking really lively in this game as well, doing a great job trying to get to the rim for his team.
Jefferson right down Main Street, can't get that to fall. Again, the troubles of both teams as Blaine connects.
Yeah, and that's the story of the game so far. Dragons not able to convert, and Rockets scoring in transition again.
Johnson, Lewis. Johnson gets the step on Jackman, but Jackman recovers well, and that'll be a Birmingham ball. It came off Johnson's knee last.
And that's what the Rockets are doing really well. Orlan Jackman defending so well on the ball after the switch of the pick and roll, keeping his guy in front and making things happen for his team on defense.
McGregor. Gale. McGregor right into the teeth of the Yorkshire defence. A three is up, a three is good for Donaldson. That's the second three-pointer for the Rockets in this game.
Absolutely. The Dragons gambling a little bit there, which gave advantage to the Rockets.
And the ball goes out of bounds. It will stay with Yorkshire. Plenty of time on the shot clock. 28-13. There's the three from Donaldson right in the corner. And again, the ball is loose, and again, Birmingham have hands on it. And Jordan Whelan's going to come in for the Dragons.
Looks like a technical foul has been called as well.
Unsure exactly on who it was, actually, as McGregor checks out. Or in fact, actually, McGregor is just having a chat with Charles Smith. As Eric Donaldson goes to the line and cans the first free throw.
He's done it all so far.
Yeah.
He's had an inside move, little mid-post move, corner three, and a free throw.
10 points, a perfect 4 for 4 for Eric Donaldson.
Of course, Eric Donaldson, brother of Sydney Donaldson, once a Reading Rocket.
Yeah.
So a bit of fun facts for you there, John. I know how much you love those.
Gosh, Sid, don't we know? The technical foul was called on Nick Lewis as the Rockets get underway again. And Milky gets the steal. Here is Jefferson, a chance for him to push, and he lays it up and in.
Yeah, good job by Jefferson getting to the rim there.
Jackman is open, a three, money.
In finals, you just do not want to leave Orland Jackman free. He really can knock down the perimeter shot, and he's made 2 so far today.
Orland Jackman stringing one from downtown. Here is Johnson. Johnson bumps, doesn't get the shot to fall. It's rebounded by Donaldson. Gale is open, a three, splash! Birmingham are rampant right now. Timeout, Yorkshire. It's a 20-point lead in the BCB Trophy final. And one of the deadliest three-point shooters in the country buries his first of the game. And it's a 20-point lead for the Birmingham Rockets.
And when it's going, it's going. And the Rockets are doing an incredible job with their defense, which is leading to them playing their game, their perfect game, which is playing in transition, finding the open man. It's really difficult to defend, and when it's going, it's going. And Martin Gale is not one you want to leave open, that's for sure.
Well, from only hitting one in the first period, Birmingham have hit 3 triples now in the early stages of this second period. A 12-2 start for the men in white. As we have a look at some of the highlights, and Ronald Blaine there playing transition basketball just how he likes it. There's one of the threes from Donaldson, a 36% three-point shooter for the season. But right now, everything is going the way of the Birmingham Rockets, much to the delight of the Birmingham Rockets faithful, and of course a near sellout crowd here at Harvey Hadden this afternoon.
Yeah, and they'll be delighted with what they're seeing, because it's such a balance to the Rockets offense. I think the Dragons are currently kind of one pass short, kind of forcing it at the rim, need to kick it out. So a little bit of a deficit to claw back, but we shall see what happens out of this timeout.
It's a very talented Yorkshire Dragons side. Of course, last week they beat the Milton Keynes Breakers, but Jordan Whelan turns the ball over. Here is Gale. You just feel for Yorkshire, they just need one basket to just settle themselves, because right now, everything's going wrong for them. And they get a stop. Here is Johnson. Milky finds Ulf inside, kicks it out. Jefferson, wing three. That's off, and it's rebounded by Donaldson. But Jefferson collects it again, and Ulf is there to clean it up.
That's definitely what they're going to need. But if you notice that even Jefferson's three-point attempt was contested, and I think that's what the Rockets are doing really well. They're not giving the Dragons many open looks as Ulf gets his rebound, and again, he's really keeping the offensive flow going for his team, whilst they're struggling a little bit with only 17 points so far in the game.
17 points, but Ulf has 7 of those points, and you can put 8 rebounds down as well for good measure. Early doors in this final, and he's already flirting with a double-double. Yeah, typical of Ulf.
Looks like the Dragons have gone to a zone.
And a travelling violation is the call on McGregor.
Yeah, interesting one. Last 2 possessions, 2 stops for the Dragons, just changing up the defence a little bit, trying to mess the Rockets up and get them out of their flow of what they've been doing so far.
Well, a lot of their points have come inside, haven't they, the Birmingham Rockets, and that is what Paul Cantwell is trying to try and neutralise a little bit here with his side down 18. Jefferson. Pull-up jumper, and he'll go to the line. This is a good little spell here for Yorkshire, and Jordan Jefferson will head to the stripe.
Yeah, it's certainly better, and as we said, Jordan Jefferson is the one that can make this this momentum really fall the Dragons' way. He's going to the line for 2 shots.
Ron Blaine comes back into the game, and Lucas McGregor takes a seat. Jefferson to the line, product of the Little Rock Trojans, and he has certainly been a Trojan for the Dragons this season. He has missed the first, though. 22 points, 9 boards, 7 assists last week against the Milton Keynes Breakers. That sealed their playoff spot.
Yeah, and to be fair, he was absolutely phenomenal in the Dragons Reading Rockets game, where the Dragons came out victors.
See, I didn't want to bring that up.
That's all right, you can. All good.
Of course, alongside you, the Johnson family, and Samit Nurizadeh, Reading Rockets head coach, here watching on. Of course, Reading have got a game tomorrow against the London Cavaliers. Here is Jackman with 4 to shoot, and now Jackman travels with it.
Yeah, really interesting. The zone seems to have messed the Rockets up a bit, and that's forced Coach Charles Smith into timeout.
Well, you kind of saw a view of Rockets chairman there, Gary Johnson, but he was talking to someone. Timeout on the floor, and a good timeout for Charles Smith, because at the moment the Yorkshire Dragons have a little bit of momentum. It's nothing too serious in a sense. Of course, there's a lot of basketball to be played, but Charles Smith just senses that the foot has come off the pedal a little bit from the Rockets.
I think so, and as you say, it is a really good timeout. It will just be ensuring that it comes from defense for the Rockets, because obviously if they can get stops and play in transition and beat the zone down the floor, that's the first thing, and that's what they do really, really well. But for Paul Cantwell, that's going to be it's going to be encouraging that he can do that. He just needs to get his team out and running and putting some points on the board.
There are the City of Birmingham Rockets fans here, clad in red in Nottingham. There is Charles Smith, of course. As we mentioned, he's had lots of finals experience as a player with the Newcastle Eagles. Led them to be one of the most dominating dynasties in British basketball.
I mean, what an illustrious career for Charles Smith. And it's what I love is it's great to see him now do it from the coaching seat. And both coaches I have a lot of admiration for.
Zach Powell just a little bit enthusiastic there as he is called for the foul. That's his second personal.
Yeah, quite an excitable character is Zach Powell, so just need to be a little bit careful of that as he picks up 2, as you say.
Well, he is nicknamed the General, just needs to calm himself, calm his troops down at the moment. Here is Jefferson. Johnson is open for 3, that's off to the right, and it's rebounded by Jackman, and now Jackman is fouled.
Yeah, it looked like the Dragons were running one of their stagger sets into a Spanish pick and roll. Couldn't quite get the shot to go, and that's what they'll be hoping to do come the second half, is convert some of those.
Of course, Dragons love running that Spanish pick and roll. It's one of the hallmark of Chris Mellor's tactics, and of course Paul Cantwell as well. Here is Gale. Blaine. Blaine still has it, out of control, just about gives it up. Here is Powell, 5 to shoot for Birmingham. Powell inside, the easy finish for Blaine. That was a beautiful, patient build-up play from Zach Powell.
It was, but you've got to stop Zach from going left. He loves driving left. That's a real key to the scout there, and that'll frustrate Paul Cantwell, no doubt.
Jefferson somehow keeps his dribble going, and Jackman awkwardly got the rebound, but he got it nonetheless. Blaine, a three. That's off the back iron. That goes out of bounds. Birmingham think it came off Milky last, but referees disagree.
Yeah, the Dragons just missing some easy ones at the rim so far. Jefferson doing a good job getting to the rack. Can't quite convert at this minute.
Ulf. Jefferson, corner pocket, no good. Milky with the offensive board. Can't get the putback. Here is Powell. Full head of speed, but runs into a sea of green jerseys. And the possession arrow favours the Dragons.
Yeah, and it's better by the Dragons. They're still putting some heat on the offensive glass, but doing a much better job in transition. That's exactly what you've got to do. Protect your paint. And doing a really good job on the guy who has hurt them so far.
Yorkshire shooting 23% from the field thus far. Whelan steps into a layup and puts it in.
Yeah, nice take by Jordan Whelan.
And here's Blaine at the other end, and a foul!
That might be the most frustrating basket as a coach, when your team just score and within 3 or 4 seconds you give up a layup at the other end.
Ronald Blaine straight down the lane, and he'll go to the line for a bonus. And a player that really desperately wants this trophy today, Ron Blaine. We mentioned about how competitive he is. He is 0 of 5, though, in finals, a statistic he will hate to hear. He desperately wants this today.
Yeah, and it's looking very good for him and his team so far.
Johnson, a little bit of a stiff arm there on Powell. Beautiful step in, but misses the two. Blaine there to clean it up. Here is Powell. Powell stops on one, kicks it out. The extra pass, there's Blaine again. Powell, beautiful passing around the perimeter. That's a lovely look from Powell that was intended for Donaldson, but Milky was there.
Yeah, better defense, a recovery defense by the Dragons there.
Jackman. Jackman, good hands from Whelan. And here comes the Dragons. Whelan right down the middle, and he'll go to the line for a couple.
Yeah, Jordan Whelan's come back into the game. He's got to the basket a couple of times. That's really helping his team.
Zach Powell checks out, and Lucas McGregor will come in. And
yeah, 3 fouls on Zach Powell there. So we said earlier on that that was going to be key for him. So that'd be interesting to see how that plays out in the second half.
Talk about taking the words right out of my mouth, Ben. Just about to say that I was. Not the last part, but yeah.
The legend that you are.
Whelan misses the first. Right now, Yorkshire 4 of 7 from the free throw line. As Whelan misses them both. Blaine. Jackman. Blaine, lovely give and go. And the finish from Donaldson.
Yeah, that's just nice offense, nice patient offense from the Rockets, but I would say easily avoidable from the Dragons.
Jefferson, 2:30 to play in the half. Whelan goes inside to the layup, no good. Rebounded Jackman. Yorkshire with only 7 field goals in this half. Blaine on the spin. And Ulf just about collects the rebound. David Ulf now has 12 rebounds already.
Incredible.
Johnson lines up a three, no good. Yorkshire actually shot as the ball goes out of bounds. Yorkshire right now 2 of 12 from downtown. They actually shot way more three-pointers than they did two-pointers in the win against Milton Keynes. They shot 27 two-pointers to 42 triples in that win. But right now they've gone cold here at Harvey Hadden.
Yeah, it's one of those, if it's going, it's great for you. But the difficulty is, as I mentioned before, is the early shots that you have, especially from beyond the arc, the more offenses the other team gets. So you have to have a balance with that, I feel.
Here is Johnson. Finds Ulf inside. Ulf could have gone straight up with that, but decided to fake instead. And he misses it. Here is Blaine. Blaine on the spin, and he scores.
Yeah, the execution of the Rockets is really good right now, and they have a big lead.
Johnson a three, he buries it.
Yeah, as we said, if it goes, it goes, and that's the one that helps stop the rot a bit.
Johnson's first three-pointer of this game. Blaine drives inside, and an offensive foul is called.
Yeah, that's a tough one for me, John, I have to tell you.
We'll have a look at the replay.
Okay, yeah, maybe he did grab his shirt, maybe so. Nevertheless, Ronald Blaine has been really instrumental as he subs out. 12
points and 2 rebounds for Ron Blaine on 6 of 10 shooting so far, as Faris Mughal comes into the game for the first time, the number 7. Here is Jefferson. Gets past Mughal and puts in the runner.
Yeah, and those are the ones he's missed so far, so it's great. It'll be great for him just before halftime to see that. If the Dragons can get a stop here and another score.
And into the game for the first time, Ronnie Annie, and he commits his first foul.
Yeah, the Dragons with 1 foul to give, so probably a good foul to stop the Rockets in transition. Both teams now in the bonus.
Donaldson, final minute of the first half. McGregor driving, blocked. As Ben Chew into the game for the first time, got the rejection. Johnson, a step back 3, that's long.
Yeah, really tough shot.
And another whistle has been called. And I think a foul's been called on Corey Johnson. A holding foul, that'll be his first. And that now puts the Dragons in the penalty.
Yeah, interesting one. Corey Johnson coming out of the game. He's taken some real tough shots. And I think when you have a big deficit, you kind of need to just chip away and not panic and take the first shot that's available. And I'm sure that'll be re-emphasised by Paul Cantwell to his team at half-time.
Luke Okosiemi misses the first, into the game for the first time for the Dragons, Sam Manini. As Okosiemi, not a traditionally good foul shooter, misses them both. Certainly a defensive pest. Leads the league in blocks, but couldn't get his free throws there. Here is Lewis. Lewis right down the middle, good defense. Well, looked like good defense, but a foul was called.
It was.
And a technical foul has been called as well. So the foul on Okosiemi, and a technical foul also on Okosiemi. As we see the replay, maybe a bit more of the body than the ball, I guess.
Yeah, maybe so. I thought Nick Lewis went a little early, but nevertheless, he's going to go to the line.
And Nick Lewis gets his first point of the ball game. 0 of 6 from the field at the moment, but gets his first points from the stripe.
Yeah, and if the Dragons can make these next 2 free throws and hold the Rockets scoreless, it makes it a 15-point game. It gives them a little bit of hope going into the second half for sure.
But also, Orlan Jackman will be checking in just a moment as well. That could give the Rockets a bit more space for, you know, obviously the final seconds to get a shot off.
Absolutely, and you'd think Jackman's probably going to come in for Okiasemi.
Yeah.
Means they can switch 1 through 5 as well, which helps them defensively.
Lewis doesn't get the last free throw. Final seconds of the first half. Gale blocked by Annie, and that'll do it for the half. So Chapman didn't even get a chance to come on off that free throw miss. But that ends the first half, and a satisfactory first half for the City of Birmingham Rockets as they lead 43-27, leading the way Eric Donaldson and Ron Blaine with 12 points apiece. And leading the way for the Yorkshire Dragons, David Ulf, who has 7 points and 12 rebounds.
Yeah, and David Ulf has been a fantastic inside presence. I think it's a real tough one. I don't think the Dragons have played badly, but they have their execution's been, you know, not where it has been in recent weeks. So that'll be something that Paul Cantwell will remind his team of. I think if they can contain the Rockets a little bit more in transition, knock down a few more shots, but just make that extra pass so they're not contested shots, then a little run, just chipping away at the score. They need a 6 or 7 zip run, 2 of those, and they're right back in this contest. But yeah, the Rockets have been clinical so far. Looks like they're really playing towards their strengths and have done a great job.
As we have a look at the highlights so far of the first half, and as you mentioned, Birmingham's so clinical. As Ron Blaine, just 2 of his 12 points there. You see Orlan Jackman putting a bit of muscle with the hustle. Unsure on the halftime score if it's exactly 100 to 100, but 43-27 is definitely the halftime score. As you see Jordan Jefferson, he's not been given much of a chance to have free reign offensively so far, and that's credit to Birmingham's defense.
Yeah, and you have to say that it looks like the Birmingham Rockets have done another really good job in terms of the scout. Having played them in recent weeks, you can see that they're very clued in as to what other teams are doing, what they're trying to do, who they can help off of. And, you know, like anything, if you can contest, players are going to shoot the ball, right? But if you can contest them and make them a more difficult shot, which is what the Rockets have done, then you can have success.
So it is half-time here in the inaugural BCB Trophy final. Birmingham, are they 20 minutes away from glory, or are the Yorkshire Dragons going to mount a comeback? It's 43-27 at the break, and we'll be back in roughly 10 minutes' time. Hello everyone, welcome back to Harvey Hadden Sports Village here in Nottingham, where the City of Birmingham Rockets hold a 43-27 lead over the Yorkshire Dragons. John Hobbs, Ben Fisher on hand here in the East Midlands. Thank you so very, very much for joining us. And Ben, let's have a look at the road to how these two teams got to the final. And both teams unbeaten in group play and, of course, in the knockout phase. And some really interesting scorelines there, especially for the Yorkshire Dragons, who were on absolute fire offensively. And then, of course, that hard-fought semi-final win against Falkirk. But Birmingham really had a harder road, didn't they? And they really were tested in all their games.
They certainly did. And if you remember, the Dragons were the league leaders for a while at the beginning of the season as well, and offensively were really firing. I mean, the 122-120 win away at Newcastle has probably got to be a real highlight for them, but we haven't seen that repeated today. However, as we said during the show, that the Dragons have really done a good job at the beginning of the season and have come right back into form now. And the Rockets, I think, have been really consistent and have grown as the season has gone on. So, yeah, two teams in really good form, but it'd be interesting to see what happens in the second half.
Something has got to give here today. Here at Harvey Hadden, a near sellout crowd on hand here in Nottingham. And before we start the third period, a big shout out and a big thank you to our sponsors, 5-Star Trophies. Of course, Molten, the official basketball sponsor for the BCB, and our official tickets outlet Fan Base, supplying the tickets for all the teams in the BCB, from the south, as far down south as Worthing, to as far north as Newcastle.
Anybody sponsor you today, John?
Well, you've sponsored me because you bought some raffle tickets. That was very generous of you, by the way.
See, well,
and there's a cash prize in it too.
If we win, that'll be the expenses paid.
Go on, Lucky Pink. I've got the pink ticket. You've got the brown ticket.
Oh, lovely.
No red ticket for Reading, I assume.
No, wasn't.
As we start the third period here in the BCB Trophy final, Birmingham get the first possession. Still talking about Newcastle against Yorkshire in the group phase. Here is Donaldson backing down Jefferson, and off the window and down.
And that's what Birmingham have done really well. Their screen-to-screener offense to get Donaldson inside on the mismatch against Jefferson, and he converts for two.
Here is Lewis. Jefferson driving to the basket.
And Jefferson, really nice touch off the handoff to pick and roll, high off the window to get his team going in this second half.
Blaine, Okosiemi the flush.
That's twice the Dragons have been undone on that particular offense.
Simple but deadly. Here come the Dragons again. $18-point lead as Ulf was going for the stuff, and he had it swatted away by Okosiemi.
Okosiemi, a really good rim protector for this Birmingham team.
Leads the BCB in blocks. That was why Powell. Step back three. And Jefferson with the rebound. Here comes Johnson. Jefferson. Johnson, a three with a hand in his face. It hits the bottom of the backboard.
Yeah, and that's what we mean by the Dragons have had a lot of their shots contested.
Inside, but the finish is wanting from McGregor. The Birmingham bench want a foul. Here is Johnson. Ulf. Jefferson uses the screen and finishes.
Yeah, we're really seeing him come to light, but the Dragons have got to do a much better job on defending the simple actions of pass and cut.
47-31 in favour of Birmingham. Here is Blaine. And the pass deflected, but still finds Powell. Finds McGregor a three, buries it.
What a shot by Lucas McGregor, and that's what, when you have so many perimeter threats on the floor, Powell drives.
Lewis loses the handle, but Milky is there to help him out. Jefferson, shot clock in single figures for the Dragons. Jefferson a three, short, rebounded Donaldson. Fifth rebound for Eric Donaldson. McGregor again. This time it doesn't fall. Here is Johnson. Lobs it to Ulf. Ulf under the basket, no good. Good defense again from Okosiemi. Here is Powell right down. And Milky with the block on Blaine. It will stay with Birmingham though.
And that's really been the story of the game, hasn't it? That the Rockets doing a great job contesting most things, whether that be in transition or out of the Dragons' half-court sets.
Surprisingly, Birmingham have only outscored Yorkshire in fast break points 11-8. It's quite surprising considering a lot of the baskets you feel are coming from transition plays. Here is Powell. Good hands from Lewis. Powell dives on it.
Yeah, and to that comment, John, I would say to you that a lot of it is not necessarily in the first 3 or 4 seconds of transition. It's more about getting a paint touch, kicking the ball out for three, reversing the ball to drive. So it's still in transition play, but not necessarily fast break points as it might say on the stat sheet.
Saw the replay there earlier of Nicholas Lewis there just getting his hands in the way. Here is Lewis, a three. That's in and out, and it's rebounded by Okosiemi. Here is Blaine. Blaine, offensive foul. He was looking to pass it off to McGregor. McGregor furious that he didn't get the pass earlier.
Yeah, good play by the Dragons. They could see that Ron Blaine was going downhill and got the chest in the way, and offensive foul called.
And you saw the replay there. Nicholas Lewis really getting his body in the way, sacrificing himself for the team. Jefferson. And that's an offensive foul as McGregor uses his body at the other end.
Certainly does, and what I would like to see from the Dragons is them a little bit more ball movement. It's quite direct in how they're playing. Obviously, they're trying to get quick scores because they're trying to chip away at the deficit, but ball movement is probably going to be key for them if they're to get back in this ball game.
Okosiemi. McGregor putting the moves on Milky. Here is Blaine. Blaine, turnaround jumper for Powell is no good. Here is Lewis. Lewis hanging, doesn't get that to fall. Nicholas Lewis now 0 of 8 from the floor. Shot clock at 9. Lewis a three, no. Rebounded Blaine. Credit, though, to Nicholas Lewis for continuing to take those shots, even though he is struggling from the field, knowing that one will come. Here is McGregor. 5 to shoot. Blaine driving to the basket.
Ron Blaine is superb coming off the screen away. Tight curl. He uses his body to protect the ball to score.
Lewis. 4:47 to play here in the third period. Lewis still has it. Looking for Ulf, can't find him. Here is Powell. Powell behind the back. Bit of a Euro step, but doesn't get it to fall. Johnson, Lewis, no hesitation. Again, can't get it to fall. And the foul by Donaldson on Ulf, who takes one hard.
Yeah, and yeah, a credit to, as we see the replay of...
well, just about anyway. There we go.
Lewis shooting and Ulf getting what must be nearly his 15th rebound. John, you can correct me on that, but... 16th,
actually,
16th, yeah. Credit to him for really putting a lot of heat, especially on the offensive glass. But I think the Coach Cantwell's made a couple of changes. As I said, the Dragons are really... They need to move the ball first. They're taking a lot of early contested shots, and it's just not happening for them at this moment.
Olph misses the first. David Olph, only a 42% foul shooter for the season, but doesn't take a lot of free throws a game, misses them both. Here is Powell. Powell on the turnaround, misses everything. Whelan attacking. Whelan gets the roll.
And that's better. Getting to the rim early on is key. So the Dragons are getting a couple of stops if they can continue that as the Dragons go to what looks like a 2-3 zone.
McGregor finds Blaine. Powell. 5 to shoot for Zach Powell. Powell driving, and he gets the foul as well. And that'll be on Milky.
Yeah, and you can see that the zone has helped the Dragons. If you remember in the first half, they had a couple of possessions where they stunted what the Rockets were trying to do. But it's always really tough if things are drying up at the other end. The stops are great, but you need to convert that. And thankfully, that's what Jordan Whelan did on the last possession. So again, if the Dragons can keep that momentum up, just chip away, then we can have a ball game going into the fourth. I always think if they can get it to 10 points going into the final quarter, then they're in with a real chance.
Well, if any team can do it, it is the Yorkshire Dragons. As we mentioned at the top, a really exciting and threatening team on the offensive side. They average, well, they're 6th in the BCB for points per game this season at 87 points a contest. As we mentioned earlier, 109 points on average in the BCB Trophy. As Orlan Jackman will come into the game, Zach Powell will check out.
Yeah, and again, just massive kudos to Zach Powell. Obviously, we were thrilled to have him at Reading for a season, and he's returned to his hometown and done just a wonderful, wonderful job. And yeah, he deserves all the plaudits he gets.
Johnson still has it. Tough shot, it rattles in.
That is a tough shot from Corey Johnson.
.3:16 to play in the third period. Jackman a three, and it's rebounded by Johnson. Apologies for the game clock. We will sort that out. Here is Whelan. Whelan. Lewis. 4 to shoot. Nick Lewis, tough shot. Somehow got it over the 6'6" Ron Blaine, but couldn't get it to fall.
The Rockets have given him absolutely nothing this evening.
Here is Blaine. Jackman. A lot of composure to Birmingham's play at the moment as Eric Donaldson will head to the stripe.
And that's the switch that the Rockets wanted, getting Donaldson inside, going to work, and he goes to the line for two.
As Okosiemi comes out of the game, Martin Gale checks in. And we speak about Martin Gale, and one of the premier shooters in the game, averaged 59% from downtown in the BCB Trophy. Only took 16 attempts, but and he's shooting 37% this season, of course, in the NBL, the all-time leader in three-pointers.
But again, he's one of those guys that have come into this Rockets roster this season and have not overshot, and he's knocked down some key ones, and that's what's really important for this particular team. They don't seem to play with too many egos, and he's a real contributor to that.
Here is Johnson. Johnson kicks it out. Lewis. Again, the defense is absolutely smothering, and Nicholas Lewis finally gets his first field goal after 11 attempts.
Yeah, it was, but I thought the Dragons moved the ball a lot better. Got a paint touch, changed the side, and that gave Lewis a bit of an advantage to drive and get it to go at the rim.
And we know with Lewis, that's, you know, all he needs is one shot, and he's going to look to get hot from now. Here is McGregor for the shoot for Birmingham. McGregor is fouled by Milky, and that'll be his third foul. And that's the third time in this game with the shot clock in its final seconds that Yorkshire commit a foul as Jordan Jefferson will come in.
Yeah, it's kind of a bit edgy defense. You kind of have to, if teams make those shots where it's contested, you kind of have to live with that. So yeah, giving 3 shots away is a bit of a tough one for the Dragons.
As McGregor heads to the stripe, 67% from the stripe this season, misses the first. As we mentioned, Birmingham as a team shooting 68%. As he makes the second. (10 of 15 at the moment in this game, the Rockets. Make that 11 of 16. And it's a 21-point lead. Biggest lead of the game has been 23. Whelan. Whelan doesn't get it to fall.
Yeah, good defense again by the Rockets.
1 minute and 16 to play here in this third period. And the pass intercepted by Johnson. Here is Whelan. Whelan a little out of control, but gets the foul.
Yeah, Jordan Whelan has been very positive when he's got the ball going to the rim, whether that be in transition or playing one-on-one off advantage.
And Jordan Whelan, we all know of his exceptional talent. 66% from the field in the quarter-final win over Worthing. Averaged just shy of 22 points last season in the old NBL Division 1. Averaging 15 points a game this season. You hear the noise echoing around Harvey Hadden as Whelan splits the foul shots. And it's a 20-point game coming up to the final minute of the third. McGregor, Donaldson, drives along the baseline, kicks it out. Here is Gale, there is Powell, corner pocket 3.
And for me, John, that's what the Rockets have done so much better than their opponents today, is move the ball, an extra penetration and kick, and they get the open shot to go.
Foul called, I think, away from the ball. That'll be on McGregor. And that'll be McGregor's second foul of the game. .4 to play here in this third period. Johnson finds Whelan, a bit of space, and he buries a 3.
Yeah, Jordan Whelan definitely been the bright spark in this third quarter for the Dragons.
And the Rockets will hold for the final shot of the third period. Dragons just need a stop here. Shot clock at 8. Less than a second differential between shot and game clock. McGregor has to do something. Great defense from Olf. And they're actually going to call a shot clock violation there. We'll just see how many seconds. I think it was just on a second differential, or maybe 0.9. It's actually a second exactly.
Oh, it's gone up to 1.7.
1.7.
There you go.
There we are. Well, my mathematics was well off. Here is Lewis letting fly, and that hits the backboard. And that ends the third period. And the City of Birmingham Rockets inching ever closer It's a tall task in hand for the Yorkshire Dragons, as Paul Cantwell has a lot to think about in this fourth quarter.
Yeah, it certainly is. It's not out of the realms of fantasy, but the Rockets have put themselves in a really good position there. I feel like they're controlling the game defensively. I think they've been excellent, really taking away what the Dragons are trying to do, and also forcing them into some really tough shots and capitalising on that with their own transition game. Slightly lower scoring in that third quarter for themselves, but you feel like it's theirs to lose now.
Eric Donaldson, 16 points on 6 of 6 from the field. He's actually 3 of 3 as well from the foul line, so a perfect game at the moment for Eric Donaldson. As you see Luke Okosiemi there in your picture. He had a huge block in that third period on the dunk from David Ulf.
Yeah, and the Dragons have got it sort of all across the board. I really like their inside presence. I think Okosiemi does a really good job, as I said earlier, protecting the rim. Orlan Jackman can back that up at the 4. They've got some really good shooters. They've got guys that can create. Zach Powell to do that, and they've got good point guards as well who distribute the ball. So their all-round game is really positive. I think the Dragons have definitely got the talent on their roster. It's whether they can make some shots in this fourth quarter and get some stops. Sounds simple, of course, but that's really what's needed. I would say in this first 3 to 4 minutes, they've really got to chip away at this deficit.
See the Birmingham bench there. Just 10 more minutes from glory. And you see the fans there as well. They've travelled in good spirits here today, a lot of them. As we start the fourth period. Here is Gale. Jackman. Powell. Shot clock at 8. Powell, the 3 is good.
That's a tough shot by Zach Powell. Jordan Whelan really looked like he was really active, contested the shot, but Zach Powell finding that rhythm and getting it to go.
Ulf. Johnson, a 3, and he responds at the other end.
Yeah, tough shot by Corey Johnson. I don't think they'll mind too much about that. Donaldson was contesting. The Rockets still defending well.
Johnson had 8 3-pointers in the semi-final win at Falkirk, good for 30 points. Leading up to this final, as Powell puts on the Jets, and the foul!
And this is what Zach Powell's really developed with his game. He's always been really good going downhill, stopping and popping, but he's able to finish and shoot the 3 ball as well. Credit to him, Zach Powell, with some momentum in this fourth quarter.
Have a look at the replay. Totally getting the better of David Ulf there and then attacking the basket. That foul is on Jefferson.
And for the younger folk watching, does a really good job of protecting the ball, even over big guys to finish.
Powell now moves on to 11 points, and it's a 22-point advantage for the pride of Birmingham. Lewis. Lewis finds Whelan. Whelan, no good. Rebounded Blaine. Here is Gale. Jackman, he finds a bit of room and he lays it up and he goes to the line for 2.
Yeah, great take by Jackman, but that was really good defense by the Rockets. They've done a great job on the pick and roll, whether they're going under or, as you can see on the last play, Ronald Blaine icing the pick and roll, meaning forcing Nick Lewis away from the screen and keeping him towards the sideline. Great job.
And Ronald Blaine, who's only got 2 points in this second half, but has impacted the game in other ways, and he's done the intangibles that every coach, obviously, including yourself, Ben, loves to see. You know, the things that you don't see on the box score.
Most definitely, and what you've got to remember is he's been a massive contributor in getting to this final. That first and foremost. So he's had games where he's scored heavily, he's rebounded really well. But in this game, it hasn't been required of him, but how he's defended and how he's competed has been key to the Rockets' success.
Averaged 11 points, 7 rebounds, and 4 assists in the BCB Trophy alone as Whelan is fouled.
Yeah, Jordan Whelan not giving it up at all. Keeps attacking the basket and gets rewarded by going to the foul line for 2 shots.
Jordan Whelan at the stripe. Misses the first. Right now, 7 of 16 from the stripe here this afternoon for the Yorkshire Dragons.
Yeah, they've struggled shooting-wise overall. That will be a disappointment for Coach Cantwell for sure.
You saw Ron Blaine in your picture there. Of course, not just a good player, but also quite a fine commentator as well. He's been commentating on a few SLB games this season at Newcastle, a couple in Manchester as well. Here he is on the ball. Jackman muscling his way in and lays it up and in.
Jackman, love it. Absolutely love it. Really coming to play here. Another veteran move and getting to the rack for 2.
He now moves on to 11 points on 4 of 7 shooting off the bench.
Yeah, it's a testament to this Rockets roster that the scoring quite spread in this particular game.
Whelan looking to dance. Drives inside, no good. Ulf is there for the rebound. He can't get it to fall.
Yeah, another rebound from David Ulf.
Was just about to say that. David Ulf now has his 18th rebound of this contest, but still stuck on 7 points. Here is Blaine inside. Blaine, the finish.
Yeah, beautiful ball movement by the Rockets as they're really cementing their performance in this game.
Lewis. Lewis finds the lane. Can't get it to fall. Ulf can't get it the first time and is fouled hard, and an unsportsmanlike foul has been called on Martin Gale, assuming he was holding the wrist of David Ulf. Of course, that's the aggressive nature of Ulf's play, and the referee, as we see the replay, not a fan.
Yeah, let's have a look. Another great effort.
Yeah.
Tries to tip it in first of all. Can't get that to go. Gets it. Martin Gale. I think it's. I'm not sure. For me, it's more.
It's
like
on the cusp, isn't it? But
is.
you've seen them called before, haven't you? I mean, we've seen them called. As Ulf misses the second. We talk about David Ulf, 18 rebounds, actually 19 rebounds now in this game. Moving on close to 20. He's had 20 rebounds once this season. That was against Worthing. As Powell nearly got the steal. Here is Ulf, back to Jefferson. And the layup doesn't, well, it falls, excuse me. God, even I fell for that.
Yeah, nice play by by Jefferson, just capitalising on Zach Powell's eagerness, shall we say.
Yeah. Jefferson also reminded me for an eye test at some point. Here is Powell. Good defense from Lewis. Nicholas Lewis has been so tough on the defensive end today as Gale misses the 3. And that stays in, but Ulf collects. Johnson finds Whelan, did well to keep that in. Jefferson, there is Ulf the finish.
And that's the ball movement that we've been wanting to see from the Dragons. That was awesome. Really finding the right shot there.
And that is David Ulf's double-double, 10 points, 20 rebounds.
That's incredible.
17th double-double, actually 18th double-double of the season if you count the BCB Trophy. As said, no player has more double-doubles in this league than David Ulf.
Yeah, he's really committed to the cause, which has been great to see, but some more good ball movement by the Rockets there.
Powell. Jackman is wide open, decides not to go for it, gets the step on Ulf and lays it in.
Jackman's done a great job on that. Made 2 early threes, draw the defense out, shot fake, and he barrels his way to the bucket.
Johnson, no hesitation, rebounded by Jackman.
Yeah, Orlan Jackman having a real impact on this game for sure.
And now he's 1 rebound shy of a double-double, Orlan Jackman. And here he is on the ball. Finds Powell, who slips. Still has it, though. 6 to shoot. Blaine, a three. That's off the back iron. Lewis, who hasn't shot the ball very well, but has been so tenacious all game long. Such a competitor. Doesn't get that to fall. It's tipped up and in.
Is it that man again?
I think that might be credited to Ulf, yeah. Ulf and Jefferson were there. That's what you're here for, Ben, isn't it? Here is Powell to the basket.
Definitely should have seen that one, but great take again by Zach Powell. And the Rockets really in charge here in this fourth quarter.
Logan Rooney will check in. Corey Johnson heads out. Martin Gale will also take a breather for the Rockets. A good stint for him on court as Lucas McGregor checks in.
Yeah, I just love players like Martin Gale. Goes in, works really hard, does his job, sits down, supports the team. Amazing.
Here is Jefferson. Whelan. Good body control. Can't get the finish, though. That deserved more. Here is Powell. Powell dumps it off, the extra pass. McGregor is open. It's long, though.
Yep. Rockets would be pretty happy with that shot. Good extra pass.
Lewis can't get the three to fall. And it's rebounded by Donaldson over Ulf. How many times have we said that today? Not many.
Absolutely.
Jackman inside. Jackman off the window.
Jackman with a classic performance. You love to see it. Awesome.
15 for Orlan Jackman. Jefferson. Charles Smith still barking instructions to his Rockets team. Here is Ulf inside the finish.
He has played really well, John. A real great to see, real gritty performance despite his team at a big deficit.
And that's just typical, isn't it, of David Ulf. Here is Powell. Turn-around jumper. Clangs the rim.
And Coach Charles Smith just popping his hands up in the air, politely suggesting that Zach Powell could get a better one.
Jefferson the finish, and that'll force Charles Smith's hand into a timeout with 3:24 remaining. Rockets up by 21, but there was something in that Charles Smith didn't like, and of course that's probably what you were alluding to in your last comment.
I would imagine that he's just called a timeout just to press the reset button, just to say, hey, let's finish the game the right way. We don't need to take any unnecessary risks. The Dragons, they need the ball, so if we don't have any transition, let's play longer offense. Let's get the best shot we can possibly get.
Well, once again, we thank you very, very much for joining us on the British Championship Basketball YouTube channel. Great to see so many of you contributing to the comments, letting us know who you're supporting. Let us know your feelings on how the game is going. Of course, there's even some coaching techniques going on as well from certain people. And Ben, how would you summarise this contest in a nutshell with 3:24 remaining in this BCB Trophy final?
I think I would say, you know, without being disrespectful at all, I think that the Rockets have been dominant in terms of how they've approached this game. They've stuck to their game plan. That's really clear to see. The stuff that they do really, really well. I feel like they've shared the basketball well, and I feel like they've scouted really well. That's no disrespect to Paul Cantwell and his team. They haven't made the shots that sometimes they make, but the Rockets haven't really let them have an open look. So that's what I would say, and you know, credit to both teams on putting on a good show for us.
Of course, this is the second final this week that Paul Cantwell has been involved in. He was in the CBL final as head coach of Xaverian College at the Academy Finals on Thursday in Essex. Lost that game as well to MK5D. Here is Powell to the basket as the shot clock was expiring.
Yeah, great take by Zach Powell. But yeah, just a note on Paul Cantwell, doing a fantastic job with Basketball in the North, has really lifted this now Yorkshire Dragons program, formerly Bradford Dragons, taken over the helm from Chris Mellor, and it's really good to see.
Well, Chris Mellor still on the bench, an assistant coach to Paul Cantwell, as Logan Rooney hits a three from the corner. 2:33 to play here in this BCB Trophy final, and substitutions will be coming in momentarily. Larry Daru and Faris Mughal will come in just a sec. Okosiemi high off the glass, too strong, rebounded by Rooney. And here is Jefferson. Jefferson on the spin, blocked by Okosiemi. Huge rejection. And Donaldson at the other end, and a foul.
Yeah, great take by Eric Donaldson. He's been really influential in the last couple of possessions, and that really shows the dominance of the Rockets in this game.
And that all stemmed from the massive swat from Luke Okosiemi. Jordan Jefferson fouls out.
Zach Powell and Ron Blaine right in front of us, really congratulating each other. They've done a hell of a job this season as a whole and in this particular game.
When we talk about academy players, obviously we spoke about Paul Cantwell as a head coach for Xaverian College. Larry Daru, of course, the leading scorer for Birmingham's EABL team this season.
Yeah, great to see him get on the floor. He's had a great junior career at Birmingham, and it's awesome to see him appear in the BCB Trophy final.
Averaged around 25 points for BMET Rockets in the EABL as Ronnie Annie buries a three at the top. Good to see him getting some points on the board, the product of the Manchester Magic.
Absolutely, and it looks like the Rockets will continue to go to their bench.
Mughal stepped out of bounds as Tom Grayley will come in, as well as Adrian Murathori. 1:39 to play. Birmingham Rockets fans on their feet. They can sense it. They can taste it. They can smell it. They are around 90 seconds away from glory.
Absolutely.
Whelan a three, no good. Ball is loose. It will stay with the Dragons. Ben Chew into the game as well for Yorkshire. Philip Basudis coming in for the first time as well. Another Rockets Academy prospect. Averaged 12 points for BMET in the ABL this season.
Yeah, great to see the Rockets starters on the bench. Really excited for the end of this game.
Whelan gets the floater to go. Here is Basudis. Duru is fouled by Whelan.
Yeah, and Duru will have a chance to get some points on the board for himself. Awesome.
Averaged 25 points, 13 rebounds for BMET in the EABL. Of course, the Academy Finals last week in Essex. EABL title was won by Myers Co.
Yeah, the Birmingham fans loving Duru's
absolutely.
And you can see Coach Charles Smith has a
smile on his face.
He certainly does.
Misses the second, but great moment for that man. He has come on quite a few times and has played well in spurts. As Larry Duru, here is Annie. And Munini into the game as well, and on the ball for Yorkshire. Whelan, Annie at the top, and can't get his second three-pointer to go. Ball goes out of bounds. 47 seconds remain. Charles Smith telling his team to sit down.
Yeah, don't get excited. Goodness me.
Just see shades of Samit Nurazadi there, can't you? And he gets the rebound off the miss from Mughal. There is Rooney, the easy two. But the Birmingham players ignoring Coach Smith's orders. They're up on their feet as Duru turns it over.
Well, I would be too. I think it's a great historic moment for the City of Birmingham Rockets.
And what a moment for this fantastic ball club as Rooney misses the two inside. Shot clock is now off. Basudis a two, buries it. What a moment for that man.
Big Phil, amazing.
Yorkshire are confined to just bringing it over the timeline. History is made. The BCB Trophy is heading to Birmingham. The City of Birmingham Rockets, the 2026 BCB Trophy winners. Look at the scenes, look what it means to them.
Absolutely amazing. Great to see Charles Smith right in the middle of that. A massive congratulations to the City of Birmingham Rockets. They have had a wonderful season and they have played a great game this afternoon as Charles Smith runs over to the crowd. Absolutely loving this win. Commiserations to the Yorkshire Dragons. They put up a good fight, but the City of Birmingham Rockets really deserving this win as Charles Smith, I think he's got a flag of him, the Union Jack with his face on.
Well, in Newcastle, they called him King Charles. And in Birmingham, they call him Coach Charles. But they can call him a champion today, along with the players. Orlan Jackman's son, held aloft. Orlan Jackman with 15 points, 9 rebounds. A perfect 7 of 7 from the field for Eric Donaldson. 19 points. 7 of 7 from the floor, 4 of 4 free throws. And this is what it's about. The incredible sportsmanship between these two warriors that have put on a show today. And as much as we congratulate the City of Birmingham Rockets, got to give it up for the Yorkshire Dragons. Still loads to look forward to. But they have beaten finalists today, but still so much to be proud of, and they can hold their heads up high.
They certainly can, and let's not forget, they've been an absolute stalwart in NBL Division 1 prior to this season, the inception of the BCB. And as I mentioned in commentary, I think Paul Cantwell and Chris Miller have done a fantastic job, and to get the Yorkshire Dragons representing in a final with all the injuries issues that they had mid-season is fantastic. So yeah, a massive credit to them, and I'm sure they'll be back on the big stage soon enough.
Jordan Jefferson led the way with 15 points, as you see Charles Smith and Paul Cantwell all smiles. It might be fierce and competitive on the court, but it's all love off it, and that's what you love to see. As Jordan Jefferson has mentioned, 15 points leading the way. David Ulf, a monster double-double of 12 points and 21 rebounds, 11 of those on the offensive glass, as the Birmingham players go to the fans. It's going to be a heck of a trip back to the Midlands, back to the heartland of this country. It's not a long drive, but they will be celebrating nonetheless, going back to Birmingham.
Absolutely, and rightly so. They put on a really, really good performance. I thought defensively, they were really locked in this evening, did a great job, took away the key attributes of the Dragons, made every shot really difficult, and as I said, played their game really, really well. So yeah, congratulations to them. I'm sure they'll enjoy the celebrations, no doubt.
And one player as well, as we saw in the picture there, Ron Blaine, finally breaks his finals duck after 5 losses. He finally has a winner's medal here today.
And he's a right pain when you're playing him. But a huge congratulations to Ron Blaine, because he really does deserve that. As I said right from the start of the show, he's an absolute competitor and really deserves this championship.
Well, the presentation ceremony is going to begin with the board, BCB board, led by Chairman Russell Bell on your left, Tim Brown there in the middle, and a little bit on the right there is Matt Newby and Russell Levinston, who has been a fantastic host here today in putting on this BCB Trophy final. Russell Levinston has certainly worked extremely hard. He was here at 6:30 this morning getting the venue set up.
Yeah, it's amazing to see, and it's Harvey Hadden have done a great job hosting this event, and you know, the first BCB final, and you can see that the sport is just growing and growing, and the inception of the BCB has been just fantastic for all parties concerned.
And there is Tim Brown, big smile on his face. He had a long trip up to Nottingham, resides in the Isle of Wight on the coast, but he made it here today, and big smile on his face.
Yeah, and that's great to see, because most people won't know Tim Brown does an extraordinary amount of work behind the scenes and has helped with the setup of the BCB. So it's great to see him here, along with the other BCB board members.
Our table officials and 3 referees getting their medals. The referees were absolutely fantastic today as well, calling it as they saw it. There were some very, very tough calls, as is natural in a final, but they did an amazing job, didn't they?
Yes, they did. I think you've asked me that question on purpose. I know you have, but they did, and credit to them, and yeah, very well officiated.
Yeah, I've always learnt never to ask a coach about the referees, but I like to change the narrative as the Yorkshire Dragons collect their medals.
They're an important part of the game, so yeah, credit where credit's due.
As the Dragons, as mentioned, now collect their runners-up medals. As said, absolutely nothing to be ashamed of. They've had a fantastic run. This is their first loss in the BCB Trophy this season. They will certainly come back strong for the finish of the league season before the playoffs start. And of course, we've got the playoff final coming on Bank Holiday, Monday, May 4th. And then after that, it's the BCB All-Star game in Worthing. So lots to look forward to, as well as the playoffs and the final.
Yeah, absolutely. And for the Dragons, I think this is this will be the platform that they need to push on. They're going to, I would imagine, they're going to make the postseason. And they're going to be a tough assignment for any of the top teams. I mean, let's not forget they recently beat the Reading Rockets, you know, comfortably, and did a fantastic job. So they'll bounce back, that's for sure. And they deserve to be in this trophy final today.
As the Dragons collect their medals, Chris Mellor. And there is Paul Cantwell. Of course, Chris Mellor, what a servant to basketball in Yorkshire. Mainly with the Bradford Dragons, but still is part of the team as the assistant coach.
Yeah, you know, it's absolutely amazing to see him still on the stage. And we need to celebrate more the people that have invested so much time and energy into our game. And he's definitely one of those. And yeah, congratulations to him.
As the winners collect their medals, Ron Blaine, finally a winner's medal for him, and he so very, very deserves it.
And he's really excited as well, which is just wonderful to see.
He faced failure at Newcastle, Worthing, and at Bradford back when they were the Bradford Dragons, but finally lands a winner's medal with Birmingham. Eric Donaldson, what a performance he put on, a perfect 7 of 7 from the field. Martin Gale, another player that's, again, an incredible ambassador to this sport, especially in the Midlands.
But you look at it, John, and we talk about all the players you've just talked about. They all came and they turned up today, and that was, I think, the big difference between the two teams. Everybody fulfilled their role, and you could see from the Birmingham Rockets that Coach Charles Smith has done an amazing job in terms of making sure each individual knows their role within this particular group.
Russell Bell and Charles Smith there with a quick word. And the first ever BCB Trophy MVP. As the Birmingham players just getting some pictures there. And it is Eric Donaldson. Who else? A perfect 7 of 7 from the field, 4 of 4 from the foul line, 7 rebounds, 3 assists, 19 points. MVP, the golden ball, presented by Moulton, is Eric Donaldson's. Congratulations. What a performance he put on today.
Oh, he certainly did. I absolutely love the fact he's been named the MVP. As we said throughout commentary, does it all from interior to beyond the arc to defense. A great performance and so well deserved.
And now there is one trophy left. Chairman Russell Bell with the trophy in hand. Martin Gale wants the trophy where he wants it. Russell Bell is almost fighting him for it. unsure what the trophy lift is going to be at this rate. But now, for the first time this season, the Birmingham Rockets make history. They are the BCB Trophy winners. Congratulations to Rob Palmer, Kirk Dawes, the players, the hard-working staff, the volunteers, and the fans of the City of Birmingham Rockets. This is your moment. You have made history.
Absolutely. The very first winners of a BCB trophy. And yes, agreed, John, a huge congratulations to Rob Palmer and Kirk Dawes and all the guys behind the scenes, and especially to Coach Charles Smith. Absolutely thrilled for him.
And look what it means to the Rockets faithful. This trophy certainly dedicated to those incredible fans in the stands. And in just a moment, we will try and get the winning coach and MVP Eric Donaldson for a post-game chat.
Yeah, let's see if we can. It looks like
we're waiting.
The celebrations are going to be pretty long, but a little team picture for the Rockets at the moment as lots of photos being taken of the winning team with their trophy and medals.
As we see them just posing for more pictures. It's going to be difficult to get Eric Donaldson and Charles Smith over here, isn't it?
Yeah, unless they were told about any media duties. Who
they
knows?
were.
They were.
Oh, they were.
There you go.
And of course, after this game, keep it locked on the BCB YouTube channel, because the Nottingham Hoods have got a league game against the Essex Rebels. Of course, there's a full lineup of BCB fixtures as well today, all starting just after the BCB Trophy final.
Indeed, and it looks like we've managed to corner Charles Smith. Hopefully he's going to be coming over to chat to us, and yeah, a massive congratulations to him. And soon enough, I'm sure we will be able to go over to him.
Well, Aaron Vine, our courtside reporter, is waiting. And Charles Smith and Eric Donaldson are coming over now, as we have a look at the highlights of the first ever BCB Trophy final. City of Birmingham Rockets 85, Yorkshire Dragons 66 is your final. Eric Donaldson is your MVP. And Aaron, you are courtside now with Charles Smith, the head coach. Take it away.
Smith of the City of Birmingham Rockets. Coach, first and foremost, congratulations. What an immense achievement this is, not just for the team, but for the city. You must be absolutely ecstatic right now.
Oh, definitely ecstatic right now. It's a great. First, I want to give credit to Yorkshire. They played great. They're a great team with a good coach, and they competed with us today. But today, we just came out and we stuck to our game plan, and I always told the guys, we stick to our game plan and do what we do, it's going to put us in a good position, and they did it to a T today, and that's why we're on the winning side.
Absolutely, and from that coaching perspective, what really gave you great joy out there today? What was it that ultimately got your side over the line?
That the guys stuck together and stuck to the game plan. Like, we had a plan coming into today, and everyone stuck together to it, and everyone just played their part and did a great job. And at the end, we was able to get everyone onto the court, so everyone got a little taste of a final today, which is even a better achievement for us.
It certainly is, and let's just touch upon the finals MVP as well. Eric Donaldson, one of the new signings for this campaign. How would you summarise his performance? He was absolutely immense, wasn't he?
Oh, no, he was great today, from the defense to the rebounding, and then he was able to take advantage of his size and opportunities on the offensive end. he did a great job today and well-deserved MVP today.
Absolutely, and a word as well for Alden Jackman. He did a lot of hard yards, didn't he? You want that from your veteran players, and he did precisely that.
Oh, definitely, because, I mean, he's probably one of the ones that got a little bit of finals experience in him, and it showed today by what he was able to do out there on the court.
Absolutely, and Charles, just a couple of words on the fans. They have come out in their droves for today. You can see how much this final meant. What would be your message to those Rockets fans?
Man, it was amazing fans, great fans. And I mean, we loved their support today, and we loved that we was able to win and bring a championship back to our city.
Absolutely. Well, Coach, I'll let you join in on the rest of the celebrations. Thank you ever so much for taking the time, and congratulations.
Right. No problem. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Charles. And in just a moment, we'll get Eric Donaldson, our MVP, in as well. And just getting his headset on as we have a look at some more of the highlights, as Aaron is now going to be courtside as Eric Donaldson is waiting. Aaron, it's all yours.
Finals MVP, summarise that feeling. What's going through your head right now?
Man, first and foremost, I just want to thank my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, man. I wouldn't be here without him. And I'm just blessed, highly blessed, man. I can't really think of much words to say. I'm grateful for the opportunity to be out here playing a game I love, doing it with this team, doing it with guys I compete with every day in practice. Man, we put a lot of work into this, so I'm just grateful. I'm excited. I'm happy. All the positive feelings, man. I'm blessed.
Absolutely, and I mean, we described it as an immense performance. How would you reflect on that game from a personal perspective? Because on both sides of the floor, I mean, you were pretty much perfect today.
Yeah. Man, we got to give it to Yorkshire, man. They're a great team. They're a talented team. They got a talented bunch. It's intense in here. It's a final, so, you know, everybody wants it. Everybody wants to win. Everybody puts a lot of time in, a lot of work in. So it's intensity, man. You can feel it. The crowd out here just supporting both sides. Like, it's loud. So it was intense, man. But we were prepared. We showed up prepared. We followed the scouting report. We followed what Coach has been preaching all week. And we just competed hard. And, man, this group is special. This group is really special.
They really are, and of course, Eric, you've been a very special part of that as well. You've been absolutely tremendous across competitions. How have you found your first season in Birmingham? Because you can see what it means to the fans. They absolutely adore you.
No doubt. I mean, hey, I'm happy to be here, man. We've hit the ground running from the jump. We started off really hot in the trophy, and I think that took a lot of people by surprise. But I know what we had in this locker room from day one, and I know that we can compete. And do something special this season. So it's been a great joy to play here this year and win so many games. So that's always a great feeling, of course. But every day goes in, you know, it's a blessing to play.
Talk about a superstar. Talk about a superstar. Perfecto.
Shout out Ron. Ron brings all the energy. So I don't even know what your question was, but I'm just so blessed and happy to be here this year. It's been great.
Well, you have been absolutely exceptional, to be honest, Eric. And just one final question from our end before we let you go to celebrate with your teammates. Of course, the playoffs coming up. How much confidence does this give you heading into that final stretch?
It gives us all the confidence in the world. I think we already believe in ourselves, and this is just another stepping stone in the right direction. We wanted this trophy. We wanted to make a statement, and we're going to keep building from this. One is nice. We want to get another one. And we're focused. We're a focused group, and we're going to bring it to every day, get better, compete, and hopefully go out with another trophy. That's our goal. That's everyone's goal in this club, is to win and compete at the highest level. So we're excited to do it, and we're happy we got one tonight.
Absolutely. Well, Eric, I'll let you go over with your teammates. Congratulations on the win, and congratulations on the MVP as well.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Go Rockets.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much, Sharon, and thank you to Charles and Eric. And that concludes the BCB Trophy final. And a final word, Ben, before we sign off.
Yeah, fantastic event. Again, a massive thank you to Harvey Hadden for hosting us. But yeah, many congratulations to the City of Birmingham Rockets for this inaugural trophy, and BCB Trophy at that. a fantastic performance and a well-deserved victory today.
Well, a big thank you to our sponsors, 5-Star Trophies, our official basketball sponsor, Molten, and of course our official ticket outlet, Fanbase. Thank you so very, very much for joining us on the BCB YouTube channel. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. But from Ben Fisher, I'm John Hobbs. Have a pleasant evening wherever you are. Goodbye for now.